Did you know Apple is contributing 75% to the smartphone sales in the country? What, really? Despite of the iPhones being that expensive, do you really think Apple has 75% of the smartphone share? Hello and welcome to the iGeeksBlog show, an Apple exclusive podcast where we talk about teeny tiny, every possible information about the Apple ecosystem. I'm your host Harshanki, a marketing nerd who likes to eat, breathe, and survive on Apple content quite literally. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how Apple has acquired 75% of the market share in just 3 years of time. That is really quick, my friends. But before that, do not forget to connect with us on our social media channels. We're available as iGeeksBlog. If you want to connect with us or have any sorts of queries or questions, just hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you want to connect with me and have a one-on-one conversation about the Apple ecosystem, I'm available as Harshanki with an extra I on Instagram. Without further ado, let's proceed towards today's episode. So, as discussed, Apple started manufacturing iPhones in country under the Make in India scheme. Well, thanks to the Prime Minister for that. In the year 2015 or 16. According to that scheme, a lot of iPhones that you guys use, apart from a certain models, were being manufactured and sold in the country. Now, you know how is this different is because until that time, China was responsible for manufacturing all the iPhones or any Apple product for that matter. Majority of them were being manufactured in China. So when Apple made this huge move and came up with manufacturing units here in our country, that was a big, big achievement, and Make in India could only make it possible. But Apple did not start it that easy and that fast. It came up with three vendors that started the production of iPhones in the country, which means, yes, probably the iPhone that you're using has been manufactured in our own country, which is like having the best iPhone and you manufacturing it. Isn't that freaking amazing? Come to think of it, it started with 20% of the phones in the year 2016. Now, when I say 20% of the phones, which means, say for instance, let me simplify this for you, okay? Say, for instance, if 1 lakh iPhones of all different series and models that we're aware of, are being sold in the country every year. 1 lakh iPhone. 20,000 of them were being produced and manufactured here, whereas the remaining 80% were being imported from other countries, primarily China. Gradually, this number in just 3 years' time has gotten to 75%, which is incredible. The production capacity has increased what from 20% to 75%, guys. Can you that's huge, That is a moment of utter pride for us. Now, this is how it happened. Apple has three manufacturing partners that have been working on their behalf in our country and are handling the manufacturing of these units. So when I say about these units, majorly iPhone 11, iPhone SE and similar series are being produced here. Foxconn is one of the biggest Apple partners who manufactures iPhone in our own country, and they are producing iPhone 11 and the series as well as iPhone SE. The second partner is responsible for manufacturing the smaller units of iPhones and a couple other iPhones as well. But the only iPhones that are being imported to the country at this point is iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max. This is possibly because of the lens that we see, or a couple of mostly the lens that we see and a little bit of hardware in the backend. But other than that, had that not been an issue, everything could have been manufactured here in the country as well. Now, the third vendor is also set to come in the development, which means eventually all the iPhones will be manufactured here in the country. So now in 2021, the situation has been such that 75, just like the 1 lakh example I gave you guys, 75,000 iPhones that we purchase are being manufactured here. As a company's point of view, this is a huge step because completely shifting your production here Ensuring that the quality is maintained while keeping the price same has an immense impact. Not just that, when you talk from a government's point of view, it benefits our country because the company has to pay a lot of charges and taxes to have their manufacturing units here, which is say a very important aspect for us as incredible citizens, because if an external company is paying to our government, it is making our government richer, happier, and brighter, and a little proud for that matter. All of this narrows down to the Make in India scheme that the government came up with. Not just that, there is another added benefit to us for that matter, is that we are saving a lot of import taxes that were being levied upon us on the products. So that is why in the coming years you may or may not, but mostly may, you may see say the prices being as good as the ones that we see in the US country, which means possibly you won't have to ask your cousins from another countries to bring you the gadget that you're looking for. Isn't that incredible for us? But what's the future of it? Like, I mean, of course, you might be wondering, this is more from a B2B point of view. What is the future of it and how does it affect us or how does it benefit us? Okay. To say the least, we won't be having issues looking for, say, a couple of repairing particles, or the repairing work would be easier for us because, when you yourself are manufacturing the product, which means everything, majority of the components are being manufactured here in the country, whereas some components may or may not be imported from the other parts, which means, refurbishing your iPhones or getting your damaged iPhones repaired would be a far easier job than it was until now. The second way that it is helping us is that it's helping our country grow bigger and better. And that is very important because of, on a global level, okay, when you think about a global level, India, China are the countries which are responsible and have the capacity because of the manpower, the land resources, the favorable conditions, and cheaper labor to scale up huge businesses, to scale up trillion-dollar businesses. Now, China has been a very important source as a manufacturing unit because of the extremely low conditions and a lot of factors involved there. But over the past few years, what has happened is that the product quality from there has been degrading constantly. To top it off, the employees' manipulation that has come out from a lot of companies. So, if you remember, one of the biggest Apple controversies was that a Chinese factory, there were a lot of people committing suicides because of the immense work pressure and low payload. And even if they were accidentally end up leaking something, they were being fired. So that was the amount of pressure being added, which is creating a very negative impact of Apple as a company to the whole world. And that is what was important for them to have this shift. Not just that, in the couple of years, in the couple of last years, that is 2019 and 2020, there have been some really great changes in the policy, which has made it easier for the foreign companies to come and have their manufacturing units here. There is another reference, and our favorite entrepreneur, our favorite Twitter personality for that matter, Elon Musk, was also very keen on setting up Tesla manufacturing units here in the country, but it's still being negotiated. If that turns out well, we'll see a lot of A-listers having their manufacturing unit in the country, which means it also adds more employment to our friends and family. It is making us richer and brighter. And not just that, working with the best companies, delivering the best products, having the manufacturing units here, that is going to be one hell of an experience, my friends, because that is going to be just amazing. Imagine working with, say, like, this is like working with Edison or working with, say, working with Edison for that matter, right? You're working with the brainiac person out there. You're working with, say, one of the best technologies in the world, and overpowering technology in the world. That is something you have your expertise in, which is helping you grow as an individual also. Enough of the business talks and the good news that we have, but now, what is the future of this? How, or what are the other things that Apple can do if they want to start working here and maybe want to increase their sales? So there's a very sad news that a lot of us, that is the third world countries, have to face. And if you remember the earlier, say, social science or social studies classes from your 6th or 7th grade, you might know that India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, China, these are known as dumpsters of the world. I'm not being very harsh here, but these are the textbook words. So what happens is that since the land is so much here and it is cheaper and affordable dumping the garbage here, all these heavy waste that cannot be recycled or reused are just being thrown and dumped in the country. So when I say these things are being thrown and dumped in the country, there are a lot of poisonous gases in them. There are a lot of components that are polluting the environment and things like that. And that affects us on a bigger scale because, these pollutants are just there and our workers, poor people, they have to work on them, they have to clean them, they have to take care of it without having any protection whatsoever because the companies really don't give them protection. So if Apple and such bigger companies like Tesla want to have their manufacturing units with us and want to expand their business relations with our country, this is a possible side where they also should be paying attention because it would help us become a better country. It would be a win-win situation for both of us. It would help our citizens as well. And not just that, it would also help Apple achieve its mission of being carbon neutral by 2030. Now, if you want to be carbon neutral, you're going to give something back to the society as well, right? Which means you should stop dumping all the garbage to our society as well. And this is something that Apple should definitely look upon in the future. Maybe if not that, then find out ways to reduce that kind of pollution for our country. Only then is something we would be really thankful for. Our environmentalists would be thankful for and our people would be thankful for. This is a very technical and a very business-oriented episode, so I appreciate your patience in being here with us. But trust me, when a company is setting up a manufacturing unit in your country, there is much more than that. It has a lot of factors and elements that benefit to you as an individual, that benefits to the country as well, and it also a lot of taxation involved. So whenever, the next time you read about any company trying to set up the manufacturing unit here in the country, trust me, it's one of the best news you've gotten that year and you should be really proud of it. What is our lesson to learn from this episode? 3 years, 20% to 75% is the manufacturing capacity now. If Apple can do it, you can do it too. So if you're a small entrepreneur or say a small business listening to this episode, trust me, have faith in you. You've got this, my friend. You've really, really got this. All right, this brings me to the end of this episode. I hope you like the content. If you do, please leave us with awesome reviews on Apple Podcast. If you have any queries or suggestions related to the Apple ecosystem, if you're stuck somewhere, do not forget to check out our app. It is available for Apple users. You can download it on your iPhone and you'll get everything about the Apple ecosystem. This is me, Harshanki, signing off. Do not forget to connect with me on our social network channels. I'm available as Harshanki with an extra I on Instagram. And you can also connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as iGeeksBlog. That's it. I'll see you next week with more exciting content. Oh, something really exciting coming for you for that matter. I hope you show your love and support to us just like you've shown it every time. I cannot wait to come back and talk to you guys about it. Till then, stay safe, stay connected, keep following Apple, and have a great week.